Hey guys, welcome to Land Hermit Crab Educational Center. Today I wanted to talk to you guys about how to treat certain wood pieces, certain foraged items like cocoa huts and cholla wood. So I wanted to speak to you about that. Now I do have a video on how to treat certain foraged items, but this video is more for how to prepare these foraged items so that they don't mold in our tanks. Now, just just so you guys know, it also depends on your substrate. How is your substrate? How moist it is? What is the humidity like inside your tank? So you want to make sure that you have the humidity under control in your tank and your substrate is not completely moist. If it's excessively wet, then your woods would definitely mold in your tank. Now, some pieces of wood, certain wood, cholla woods, will mold on the substrate if it's extremely wet. It is something that will happen. Cholla wood is just dead cactus, so it's a very fragile piece of wood. Beautiful piece. But I wanted to show you guys what I do in order to prevent them from molding inside my tank. Now, just to start, before I speak about how to treat it, I want to make sure that you guys are aware. Not all wood pieces are safe for our hermit crabs. So we want to make sure that everything that we're putting in our tank is completely safe for our crabs. The wood that we're using, the pieces that we're putting in our tank, hermit crabs do eat wood. That is one of their food groups. It's one of their main food groups. So they will eat the wood. So you want to definitely go and check out our safe food database. All the way at the bottom of the link, there is a database where you can enter the name of the wood and see if it's safe. Stacy May also has this amazing book. You can find it on Amazon or even on her shop. I will link that in the video. So please make sure that you check that out. If you are unsure about what kind of pieces these are, whatever wood you're going to forage, you can download this app. It's called Picture This. So now, how do I treat certain pieces? For example, with wood, these pieces like this that are big, if you cannot fit them in a pot so you can boil them, there are other steps you can take. One would be, I would suggest freezing it in your freezer for 72 hours or longer, whatever you prefer. 72 hours is actually the minimum time I would suggest, just to make sure that there's no hitchhikers, little bugs in there, so you don't get any infestations inside your tank. Okay, so after you freeze them, I would suggest you soak them in heavy instant ocean. You want to make sure that you are priming your water, because the water does have chemicals that you don't want, like ammonia, chlorine, and heavy metals. So you want to make sure that you are priming your water. Just one drop for anything less than a gallon. If it's more, then you would add two. So I'm going to treat this cocoa hide. Okay, and the way I do it with this hide is I put already one drop of prime, and I'm going to put half a cup of instant ocean. Now you want to make sure that you're a little heavy with the instant ocean, just because this is what's going to help it from molding inside your tank. Like I mentioned before, if you have very moist substrate, then it will mold. So you want to make sure that your substrate is properly mixed. Okay, so now I am going to just put my cocoa hut in here. Want to make sure I put water inside. And if you can find something deeper, that is fine. I want to make sure that I am just soaking it. And then you're going to leave these pieces like this in the instant primed ocean water overnight. So now that is the key, to leave it overnight. You can turn it around and every few hours if you like, but it's not needed. You want to make sure that you're covering it completely. I just want to show you as an example, but you want to make sure that whatever item it is fully covered to the top with water. The same thing with these pieces, especially the cholla wood that will mold very easily in your tank. Like I mentioned before, you want to cover it completely with water, instant ocean water. Make sure you're priming. It has to be heavy instant ocean so it can really work. Now, after you've soaked it overnight, I would suggest you're baking it until dry at 200 degrees. So you want to make sure that you're present and you're watching, constantly looking in the oven, because cholla wood is very fragile. It will burn. So you want to make sure that you're taking a look. You can turn it every so often if that's what you want. And then once it is completely dry, then you can put it inside your tank. Okay. Okay, guys, so that's pretty much it. This is how I treat my pieces of wood. And I've never had any issues with mold in my tank just because I've treated them this way. I know that a lot of approved sellers do treat their pieces of wood, so you really don't need to do that, depending on what they do. I always suggest freezing them when they come home anyway, just in case there's any hitchhikers that ends up in the box on the way home to you, just to be safe. But most of our approved sellers already treat their pieces of wood, so that is something that you don't need to do. Just want to make sure that you read the description and see what they have done. Okay, guys, so I hope this was all helpful. If you have any questions, please leave it in the comments. Please make sure to subscribe and like my videos to help support my page.